Hey guys, morning. Wanted to take a minute, see if I can back this up and show you guys from the get-go. Want to take a minute and show you this different application. Um, when we first made the switch from oil field to over the road, um, I kind of started searching for different places to find loads, and apparently this was an application I loaded in the phone, and I never finished my registration with it. I just did the other day for the sake of making these videos and showing you guys just different pricing, different options, especially when we're trying to compare, market rates, um, Amazon compared to everyone else, and so on. This particular board is a little different. I believe it's been created by a factoring company. And so the unique thing about it, aside from I think it's owned and operated by a factoring company, I started receiving alerts once I registered for them. This particular section of the board is showing, oh, excuse me, it's still early. It's showing loads that apparently come directly from shippers. And so if we click on one of them, if it says company type, shipper, it appears there's no broker involved in this. And so this being the case, can you get better rates? I don't know. I mean, is this factoring company going to the shipper and saying, we're going to get carriers to bid on these, so they're going to compete against each other, and you're going to eliminate what the broker's making so it saves you money, and then they convince us we're going to eliminate the broker so you're going to bill more, but in reality maybe the rates aren't better. I don't know. The funky thing is, to look at these, there's fields that you can't see, like here at the top where it says, the company. You can't see it without joining Haul Pay. So if you click on Join Haul Pay, they're a factoring company. And so it's almost like you have to be factoring with them to get any of this work. Maybe not to get the work, but to view the additional data that you really need, because you can apparently bid on this stuff. I'm not really sure how they structure all of this. I just discovered more of this as I was digging around their app. Again, here's another load, and it's a shipper load. And if you want to view some of these details and you click on there, it's a factoring company. So does this mean if you're already factoring with someone else, you can't have access to those loads at all? I'm not sure. But it's an interesting concept. And if any of you are not, if any of you are not currently with a factoring company, I don't know if joining them means you actually have to factor through them. My particular factoring company does not require me to factor everything through them. It's kind of my choice. I can do work for a given client, not factor the invoice. It's still going to remit to them, but when they see an invoice come in that did not get factored, at the next time I factor something, they just include that payment with what I factored, and it goes straight through without a fee. Anyway, and so these are direct shipper loads. Will they actually pay better? I'm curious, but I'm not prepared to change my factoring company for the sake of finding out. Plus, I'm using a dispatch service that finds me loads anyway. But they do have, a load board. It seems to be dominated by TQL. This Allen Lund company on other load boards put the rate in. I'm not sure why here they're not. I've done a couple loads for them. They typically pay well, but you'll notice TQL has a bunch of loads in here. Some people have bad things to say about them. I've done a handful of loads with them. I've not had issues. However, a lot of those loads that have come to me, we did one load with them. They had a load that was going to move a truck from one market to another. It was a move we needed to make because we didn't have an Amazon load to do it with. And so we took the load, and once we were on their carrier list, because of where we're located, they get loads out of my area. I'm going to say frequently, but at least once or twice a week, they call with a load that they need covered. And the rate usually isn't that bad, but it's probably because, there's not a whole lot of trucks available there, and they've offered us decent pay. So I don't have personally anything bad to say about them. And I'm not really about bad-mouthing companies. There are companies I'd rather stay away from. But anyways, so getting back to this load board, it seems to be TQL dominated, and other companies that are loading up in here, some do put their rate, some don't. Honestly, there's like a $500 load. But honestly, to me, it's a waste of time to be going through a load board if there's no rate on it. I'm not going to call on 30 loads just to find out they're at $1.60 a mile. If you show your load amount and it's close to what I want, then I call or I bid or, whatever the process may be. But this is another board. It could be of interest. This portion is free. All I did really was register. But what seems interesting is they do have some direct shipper loads in there. It kind of seems to me like the direct shipper loads they work and function better if you factor using this company. I've never heard of them. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of them. They're Surge Transportation. I've done some work for them. The pay wasn't bad, and they paid their invoice in a timely manner. I didn't have problems with them. I've also done stuff for Logistic Dynamics. Anyway, so that seems to be the bottom of the list, based on the filter I did, which was out of the Dallas area. Anyway, so this could be a different option for you guys. I guess I could demonstrate the actual functionality here a little bit more. I'm going to hit details on this top load. Let me do it with one that's got a rate on it. So there's one going to Kingston, Washington, $5,300. And so, obviously it shows where it picks up, where it drops off. It's a 5,000-pound load. It's offered through a broker. It tells you when the load is ready, the total mileage, when it's going to close. Apparently this just got put in an hour ago. You can apparently check out the profile for the person offering it. You can see their MC number, and if you click the arrow, apparently it even takes you to show their safer report. which is, you know, I mean, it's handy. Most of us would check this anyway on our own. And then it gives you the information where to call, their email, an option to rate the user, shows you the rate. Apparently, you could even submit a bid using this application. There's ask a question, shows you the market average, the average rate per mile, an estimated fuel cost, and then your overall distance, and then it shows you a map. Seems like a functional app, and like I said, this portion of it's free. For those of you guys that book your own loads, could be another option, another way to find loads. I don't know that there will be loads on this load board that you wouldn't find on another, but it does also offer it offers a different option also for factoring. It would appear if you factor with this company, it gives you better access to direct shipper loads. I'm just not sure if going the direct shipper route through a factoring company would really offer you better rates. Anyway, so it's just a quick run around this app. I'm not sure if any of you guys are familiar with it. I'll be honest, I wasn't. I don't even remember when I added this to my phone. Must have been pretty close to a year ago, and I never did much with it. But I just wanted to throw it out there for you guys because, you know, looking for loads can be interesting. You know, yesterday, and I imagine the rest of this week is going to be a little bit tough because of the storm. We did struggle to find loads that were paying decent. I have another truck that's local to the Dallas area. I'm 100 miles northeast. I had another truck that was actually in Dallas, and that driver hadn't worked for a week. We were working on some issues with this truck last week, and so he kind of expressed, you know, he needed to get some loads in because, you know, he needed some money on his check, and so we did take loads that were paying a little bit less. We booked him a load that's paying a little less than what I would have liked to have taken, but I also don't want him to get frustrated and have him sit in Dallas waiting after he didn't work for a week and have the man quit on me. He's a good driver, takes care of my equipment, been with me now for a few years, and so loyalty is hard to find, especially with a good driver. And, you know, we took a load that was cheaper than I would have liked, but it keeps the wheels rolling. I did find a load for myself heading north. I'm going to go up to Indiana and going to come right back down. It starts snowing again in Indiana on Thursday. But, you know, having more options to find loads is always a good thing. So I figured I would demonstrate this app for you guys. There you can see the symbol on top. So if you go through the different places to find these things and download them, this one's called comfreight. Anyway, hope this helps. As usual, thanks for watching.